I was just asking you guys, what's the difference between trash and garbage?
I would say garbage is more respectful. You know, like, I don't know. I would say
They both can be used as an insult. You are garbage. You're a garbage person.
yeah, I know.
You are trash.
If you want to tell someone to hey, can you go please take out the garbage? You know, you're gonna say that in a nice because I think it sounds nicer than taking out the trash because it's I mean it's a very commonly used thing. But if I'm gonna ask someone that I really want to try to sell them on the idea of doing this favor for me, I'm gonna say, hey, could you do me a favor, take the garbage out? Because it sounds more pleasant than, oh, can you go take the trash out?
You're a piece of garbage for this whole conversation.
Thank you. That's hurtful, actually. I'm wondering if there's an actual physical difference between what is considered garbage, what is considered trash.
No, I don't think there's any difference.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
Okay.
Maybe the origins of the words were different, you know?
Okay.
Maybe was garbage German or something?
What makes you say German?
I don't know.
Garbage. Yeah, okay.
Welcome to Ruthless Obsession.
Yeah, so hey, we're doing something new this time. The first ever in-person episode. We are in one of Scotty's bedrooms, and we're figuring it out.
Fireside chats.
That's right.
Whoa, wait a minute.
This is audio only.
The Fireside Chat that's a special exclusive that we have yet to release. Those are branded elements of Sideshow.
We can release all of them at the same time.
But this is real show.
Oh, that's a Sideshow? I didn't realize it was a side thing.
Absolutely Sideshow. That's bonus material for the diehards.
Sorry, everybody. Spoilers.
It's because you weren't a part of it, and you're part of the real show, so we can't have the real show without you in it.
That's true.
So the Fireside Chats don't involve me.
They can.
But it just can't involve all three of us.
They can't, exactly. They can't be full show. And this is full show.
What do you call the episodes where Scotty bails?
Episodes. I mean, I can't. I'm not a miracle worker, okay?
Awesome.
All right, so what we're going to do today. The NFL season is upon us. I apologize to everybody that was waiting for our Sunday morning pre-fantasy draft episode. It did not come to fruition, but I think that's okay. Because we are on the heels of the first Thursday night game of the season, followed by the first regular season week of the season, we're going to be starting a few new things. Our Power 5 is what we're going to start with. So each week, I'm just kind of springing this on Andrew, and I don't think Nick really knows about it. We're going to be choosing 5 NFL games that are closest on the spread. We're going to discuss them, and we're going to pick the games. At the end of the season, the winner with the best record will get something, but it's mostly for pride and glory and to show that you know more than the other people. So that's what we're doing. So let's kick that off. Do you want to get started on that?
Let's get started on it.
Nobody's prepped for these games except our base knowledge, our general fantasy stuff that we can apply, and our regular expertise that we carry with us every day. Chargers at Washington. Chargers -1. I mean, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. Justin Fields, second year.
Justin
Fields.
Herbert.
Wow.
Justin Herbert.
Great start.
Great start.
Crushed it.
One of the youngest. That's going to be really loud.
Yep.
One of the young.
Bucket soon.
I know the bucket's coming. They don't know about the bucket yet.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
One of the youngest quarterbacks in Justin Herbert against one of the oldest quarterbacks in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Fitzy.
I'm excited for both of these teams this year. I really like Washington this year, just generally. They made the playoffs last year with Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, and Alex Smith. They already have one of the best defenses. I think Fitzpatrick's gonna turn the team around in general, and I think they might give the Chargers some hurt this week.
I think that I like the Washington football team as well. I think their defense is fantastic. Fitzmagic, I think the magic's about out. Whatever
makes you say that?
picks he does, because he's he's again one of those just journeyman guys who he's not gonna lose you games most of the time. He's also not gonna win you games. I mean, he'll be okay for this season. They'll be fine. But they're not. He's not going to light it up and blow people out. I mean, like if the defense has to play really, really well, and they have to have some sort of an established run game to be able to beat teams, and they're not going to beat him just by him lighting it up. So these close games in particular with the Chargers -1, like I don't know. I can see the Chargers totally winning this one. But
I think you don't get a name like Fitzmagic without having a little bit of magic.
I mean, that's like you're absolutely right. That's multiple seasons of pulling it out of a hat and pulling it out of nowhere. Multiple seasons
with like less weapons. I would say. I mean, their running back in Washington real good. So
Antonio Gibson, they've got J.D. McKissick, they've got Curtis Samuel now is a free agent over this year, and Terry McLaurin. They have two Ohio State wide receivers, by the way.
But I will say,
and Logan Thomas.
I will say, with all that said, I'm still favoring the Chargers this week. I really think Eckler being healthy. I mean, you got Keenan Allen. Her is really good. I think that they are going to be insanely good this season. So I am going to take them. This week?
Who's the Washington football team's backup?
Backup what?
Quarterback.
What does it matter?
I just want to know.
I don't think they care about that.
Hurt?
I don't think they care. I think Kyle Allen is still on the team. I think Heineke's still on the team. I think those are the backups. What does that matter?
I'm just thinking about the long term chances of
We're talking about week 1.
I know what we're talking about. I know what we're talking about. I'm just thinking through things.
Okay, so I got Andrew down as the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers there.
So who you got? Oh my. I think you already said it.
Chargers -1. I'm going with the Chargers. I'm locking it in.
You coward. Oh, wait, no, you said that in the beginning.
I said that before.
I'm
locking it in.
Okay, fine. Sorry about calling you a coward. I don't know, for no reason. I'm going Washington. The first, I'm going to deviate.
The fact that it's a home game in Washington, I would. This would be one that I wouldn't be surprised if I lose. But I'm picking Chargers.
I mean, it's -1.
Right.
I'm feeling really confident about the Chargers.
Okay.
Though, so I think the Chargers can pull it
New
off.
head coach, new offense. All right. Next game is Seahawks at Indianapolis. The spread is Seahawks -2.5. So I am becoming. I did not realize. I didn't think that I would say this, but I'm becoming a Carson Wentz, not believer, but the dude is a good football player. He's reunited with his head coach back when he had success with the Eagles. Now, I also really like the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to win the division, that tough division they play in. This is a tough one for me. I think that given all the early preseason stuff that the Colts went through with everybody on and off the COVID list, the center, the guard, Quentin Nelson and Carson Wentz both having surgery, I think it'll take some time for them to ramp up. So I'm going to go Seahawks, actually. I'm okay if we save the predicting till the end and just kind of talk about the game first. But this is going to be. I'm excited to watch this game.
This is going to be a good game. I think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback too, as long as he's healthy. But the problem is that he's never really been truly healthy, save for maybe 2 or 3 halves of a full football season. So if he really is recovered from this injury, I think that the Colts have a chance. They have one of the best rosters, I think, in the NFL. But I don't know. It's gonna be. I agree. This is definitely a tougher one. Seattle playing on the road. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I think with the Colts defense, as long as they can contain Metcalf and Lockett, I think they got this. But their defense is really good.
So as long as they can shut down the passing game, they got this.
As long as they score more points than the other team, I think they're going to win.
Okay, obviously you can say that about anything, right? But I'm being serious. They need their secondary to be stellar if they want to win this week. So I am going to take the Colts this week.
I think, you know what? I need DK Metcalf to have a great game because he's my superstar in fantasy football. And they're playing indoors. It's in a little bit of a hostile environment, but with the injuries of the offensive line for the Colts, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Okay. I think Russell Wilson is very underrated. I mean, he's obviously one of the top quarterbacks.
I think he's rated appropriately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, look,
the dude is so consistent.
He is. He's very consistent.
He's consistent. He is consistent, but I think what he consistently is going slowly downhill.
If you say Kevin, you have a generic football team. You can choose one quarterback. You can't choose. I know you can choose one quarterback to play just this one season. You're not starting a team. You're not like building something. Russell Wilson is going to be in my top three guys. I'm going to choose him over Josh Allen. I'm going to choose him over Lamar Jackson. I'm going to choose him over Herbert. I mean, it's probably going to be between Wilson and Rodgers. That's going to be what it is.
Really, Tom Brady? You wouldn't choose?
I think he might be 3, 4, 5 on that list. But I like Russell Wilson.
For one season. You would take the greatest quarterback of all time that still proves that he had it and won Super Bowl last year?
I would not. And mostly because
I would probably take Rodgers over Brady.
I would take Rodgers over Brady too. But Russell Wilson wouldn't even come into my mind if you were like. I mean, sure. Is he number 5? Is he number 6? Yeah.
That's why I think he's underrated.
But I think that he's perfect. I think he's perfectly rated at 4. I mean, what's the difference between 4 and 5 or 5 and 3?
We're getting away from the spread.
That's okay. This is an important conversation.
No, because Russell Wilson is really good. He always he's consistently good. Like
right.
He's gonna lead
He's
your
rated
team.
perfectly. He's not underrated. Everyone thinks he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
He'll oftentimes win you games, and he'll never lose you a game. I'm taking
That's
that.
true.
I'm taking it.
Except for the Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
The interception.
Well, that was a
play
call.
That was coach.
That was coaching.
He still threw the ball into the defender's hands, but sure,
That's
fine.
that's BS.
Okay, that's all good. He lost the Super Bowl for him, so I just.
Well, it's like a chicken and the egg. Was it Wilson's fault or was it Malcolm Brown's success? You know what I'm saying? Like they were both happening at the same time.
The buck stops the quarterback. Always.
Get out of here! You're such a loser. All right, you're gonna. We both chose the Seahawks. Okay.
we were off in the other game though. So
Arizona at Tennessee. Tennessee -3. So people are really talking about these two offenses as being two of the best. Like they're going to be the most high-scoring offenses of the year. I might believe that about Arizona. I don't know. Tennessee is still a really run-heavy team. I know they added Julio Jones, which is awesome. Tannehill, I think, is going to have a fantastic year. I mean, talk about, you know what? Okay, we don't talk enough about quarterbacks that got a raw deal and are having they just ended up having a good. Like, I'm happy for Ryan Tannehill. He struggled with the Dolphins for like 5 or 6 seasons. That's a long time for a quarterback. They had Adam Gase, and I think they might have had that one guy named Phil something or Philbin. Not Regis Philbin. But, there's whatever. A bunch of bad head coaches. And he goes to Tennessee, and they're competing for AFC titles. Like, that's really cool. And now he's got tons of weapons. Derrick Henry, tons. It's crazy.
Tons of weapons.
So I'm excited for Tannehill. I mean, Arizona is also another team. I don't like Kingsbury just as a coach.
What's the spread for this one again?
-3.
Okay.
Titans -3.
Yeah, so Titans -3. So I don't know. What do you think about these two teams?
This one's going to be close, I think.
Yeah.
I think both of them are going to score a lot of points.
Again, I don't know that they will because Tennessee's really run heavy, and I think they want to do ball control more than they want to shoot it down the field. Like that's how I look at Arizona. I think of Arizona as scrambling, big chunk plays, throwing it deep to Hopkins and.
So Arizona's big off-season moves, right, were what they got James Conner, so they
lost Kenyon. Well, they let Kenyon Drake walk, and they got James Conner, which is really, in my mind, it's kind of a 1-to-1. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
fine.
they're not.
They might have they have different skill sets, but I don't think in terms of actual impact.
J.J. Watt.
They added J.J. Watt, but that's really more of like a leadership thing, I think. I mean, he's still good, obviously. He's J.J. Watt, but
AJ Green.
Gosh, yeah.
Turf Toe's going to tear that guy again.
AJ Turf Toe Green.
As the number 4 receiver on that team, I think he'll be okay.
They got a lot of wide receivers.
They got a lot of
They do.
So
This one's going to be tough.
I think because it's Tennessee at home, I'm going to go Tennessee. But they've also had their own COVID issues. I was talking about the Colts. I mean, the Titans of Vrabel was out for a couple weeks, right in the middle of August.
They had COVID issues last year too. What's going on in Nashville?
I don't know what I mean. I don't know.
Something's in the water.
Yeah, just all that live music. Can't resist.
It's Party City.
Yeah. I'm going Tennessee.
I also think it's supposed to be a hot day in Nashville. It's supposed to be like.
Did you just look up the weather?
I knew the weather.
You knew the weather in Nashville Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's supposed to be 90 degrees and sunny. I think that on a hot day like that, I think the Cardinals are going to fly.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going Cards.
This is going to be ridiculous.
I'm going to go Tennessee.
There we go. Good.
I'm ready to see that offense light up.
All right, the next game. This one should be interesting. Philadelphia at Atlanta. Atlanta -3. This is a weird one because Atlanta was one of the worst teams last year. And I don't know that they did a whole lot. They got a new head coach, so that's going to be something new.
They got one of the most prolific and dominant tight ends in the future of football.
Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts.
You're only saying that because you drafted him on your fantasy team.
Well, I also really liked him. If our podcast about the draft, I liked him a lot. I think he's going to be a game changer.
Okay. This is a reckless thing to say. I've not done any vetting of this, but prolific players don't just kind of come up like in between the end of the college football season and the draft. I mean, people know about these kids coming out of school.
They knew about him. They knew about him.
I mean, obviously they knew about him. He played at Florida. It wasn't like some kind of But nobody in the NFL was talking about Kyle Pitts until it was like combine time.
That's what typically happens.
No. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck, these quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Some of these running backs even, like, you know that they're going to be good. Wide receivers too. Like you know well in advance.
That's also like very local. I mean, if you're like near that college where they have somebody who's like going to go high up. I mean, heck, we even knew people who played with Jake Butt in high school, and they talked about how he was going to go high in draft, Michigan player, whatever. They talk about dependent.
They talk about who's going to be in the first round, who the top guys in each position. But this guy he's a freak of nature. He's physically different than most other tight ends.
Sorry to interrupt. You know who they said about that? David Njoku. They said the exact same thing coming out of Miami. They said, we've never seen a tight end like this. He's a second-string tight end.
Mel Kiper said it because he ran out of things to say when he got drafted in the 30th pick overall.
He was also a first-round pick.
He's the top positional player taken in the draft this year, and they took him because he's going to be a freak. You guys, mark my word. It might not be this season.
I will mark the words.
Yeah, it might not be this season, but Kyle Pitts will go down as one of the best tight ends in football. Like, he'll be up with Travis Kelce, up with Tony Gonzalez. He'll be up there with all of them. Promise you. And this year, he'll be pretty darn good, too. Anyways, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking the Falcons, okay?
Nailed it.
Dude, yeah, okay. Well,
after all that, you kind of have to.
You talk about the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles as a team. I'll probably never root for the Eagles. I'm just kind of laying that out there right now. I can't, as we talked about last week, I don't even know if I can pronounce the head coach's name correctly. Sirianni. I think that might be close.
Sounds good.
But
you need Jalen Hurts, though.
It's not about what I need. This is about me picking the games.
All right. Well, this is more about pride here.
Well, I mean,
you got fantasy pride, but this is
what do you think about the Eagles?
I am going to take the Eagles first off. I think that they are kind of underrated this year. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be pretty good. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do, especially with Devonta Smith. So those are kind of my two key players for that team. I really want to see the rookie do well. And yeah, so I'm just going to take the Eagles. Go for it.
I'm going with the Eagles too. I don't think Atlanta's done anything this offseason aside from
They got rid of Julio Jones.
They got rid of Julio Jones and changed their entire playbook. I mean, other than that, they haven't done it. They've done anything.
Look, they got a new head coach. Their offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator for the Titans, who had a pretty good offense last year. They've got a veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan. They got Calvin Ridley's prolific. I mean, they've got a chance to beat the Eagles. I'm not saying these guys are winning the Super Bowl this year, but they could beat the Eagles at home this week.
I think the Falcons. I think when it's all said and done, Houston and Atlanta are going to be the two teams tanking this year. I'm willing to call that right now too.
What did you have them?
Listen, you have the head coach coming in from Tennessee. What does Atlanta not have? Any of the good players that Tennessee had. I mean, seriously, like what are he going to be able to do similar to what they did in Tennessee? So, like all that success, I'm sure he's a good coach. Well, I'm not sure about anything. I'll assume for now that he is a good coach because he earned the job, but that doesn't mean that he's going to have success this year. I don't think week 1 he'll have success either. Now you could say the same thing about the Eagles because they have
totally could.
You could, but I think.
Do you have faith in Jalen Hurts or Matt Ryan?
Jalen Hurts over Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan is way past his prime.
It's not about faith in it's more than just that. Like it's the team. I think the Eagles have generally better roster than the Falcons do.
How on earth could you say that?
It's a gut feeling. That's how.
Okay.
How can you not say that? How can you say that they do?
Because at least I know like 6 guys on the Falcons. I couldn't name one wide receiver for the Eagles.
I can name almost all of them.
Okay, just because you could doesn't mean that like they're that good.
Well, just because you can doesn't mean they're not bad. Wait,
it does.
It just means that you don't pay attention to them.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I do hate the Eagles. I will say.
All right, we're moving on.
Awesome.
Okay, here we go. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Minnesota -3. We haven't even talked about the spreads. We're picking them against the spreads.
We are.
I mean,
these spreads are so close, though.
They
almost
are close,
a toss-up.
and that's kind of why I picked the Eagles, was because I could see them just winning the game
by like 1 point.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, they need. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, if the Eagles win, then I would win.
All right, Minnesota at Cincinnati. Minnesota -3. I mean, I think this is a weird one because I want to say ever since Mike Zimmer has been the head coach for the Vikings, I've just felt like they've been good. They've generally won more than they've lost. I think that's true. They usually have a good defense, although last year's I don't think it was very good. They have upgraded some pieces. I think they got Patrick Peterson from Arizona. They got Sheldon Richardson from the Browns. And Joe Burrow's coming off that really bad injury. I don't think he's even gotten much preseason work, like in terms of live game action. I think
Joe Mixon's coming off injury too.
I just think I don't think I'm not. This is not like a me crapping on the Bengals. I just think that week 1, first game back. I don't know. I don't have good feelings about Cincinnati. And their defense isn't very good. I think that they're missing a key player in the secondary.
Trey Waynes.
Yeah, exactly. That's not nothing.
Eli Apple's backing him up.
Okay, Eli Apple is on his 4th team. I mean,
3rd maybe.
He's a good veteran presence. That's fine, but I think I'm liking Minnesota more than Cincinnati week 1, even on the road.
Minnesota would be an obvious choice. I would agree, generally. But I feel pretty good about... I can't go against the Bengals.
You could.
I could. But opening game, Joe Burrow's back. They're at home. Everyone's going to be going nuts with, if they have any type of success early on, they're going to be good.
You don't want to put that bad juju out into the world about going against the Bengals week 1.
I'll admit I'm biased in that I don't want to do that. Right. However, objectively, I think the Bengals have done a lot to improve their team this offseason by signing Trey Hendrickson. They signed Sam Hubbard to a long-term deal. He's great on the outside. They have Ogunjobi. They're going to be a good defense this year. And the Bengals offense, I'm sorry, with a healthy Joe Mixon, with with Joe Burrow now finally back with a better offensive line. The entire offensive line has been revamped. They're better. With Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, with Tyler Boyd, that offense, we're going to score some points, and we're going to have the best kicker in the league. I'm promising you, with Kyle McPherson.
What are you sorry for?
Yeah, don't be sorry, man.
Well, because
okay.
I just want to make it known that I think the Bengals could do it. Now,
you said we too. You said we.
Yeah, well, I do feel a part of that
When's
team.
your flight?
Huh?
You're flying out to Cincy.
Well, I'm making some time for this. It's later on this evening.
Okay, we can talk about that later.
Anyways, -3. I think the Bengals can do that. They cover the spread. When Joe Burrow was healthy last year, they covered the spread like 6 out of the 7 games that they played with Joe Burrow. So I think that they're going to do it.
Any thoughts?
I do have some thoughts. So, I actually think that Cincinnati's playmakers are, as long as they stay healthy, they have a lot of potential to be great. So, I'm going to take Cincinnati too.
Ooh.
I think that 3 is enough for me to say, oh yeah, they could either squeeze out a win or a little upset there on that spread.
As we talked about earlier, I only have Cincinnati winning 5 games this season. I do not think this will be one of them. So,
I mean, it's...
I'm going Minnesota.
That's fair.
Fine.
That's fair.
It's fine. We need some separation here anyway. So,
Right.
I think you and I differed on many of our picks, Kev. Andrew, I think you and I were... No,
We've had a couple
The
different...
numbers will shake out how they do
Yeah.
transitioning.
I'm curious to see what Nick picks for all of these too.
Really?
Sorry.
Disrespect.
We already have a good snap and can sound.
We do?
Yeah. I
Is
got one already.
Is it like banked?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's been since like episode 3 or 4 when you were like, hey Drew, you got this?
Have we used it since?
I've got plans.
Episode
Oh.
2 or 3 was back in February.
I was going to say, if you've been using that snap for each transition, that would have been pretty cool. Maybe I should start listening to this stuff.
No, but like whenever we get a soundboard and stuff, that's gonna be in there.
You know
the
what?
Snap's gotta be in
I gotta
there.
say something. I'm pretty upset about this right now. Okay. Hold on a minute.
Pause.
This can is in a Yeti koozie. It's a nice one. It's like a heavy duty one. These things bother me because they're so heavy. You can't feel the weight of the liquid in the can. Usually, if you've got that thin aluminum barrier, you can kind of gauge it. I just spilled water all down my, it's not water, whatever this is. I just spilled it all down my face because it's the first sip of this drink, and it feels, I just can't tell. I've got no sense of awareness with this. It's like a mask. It's like a shade. It's like a veil over the liquid in my container.
But it does keep it cold for a very long time.
Well, that's fine. It's cold all over my shirt.
If you live the high life like I do and drink out of that every time you drink out of it, you get used to it. You just a little slow pour in the beginning, You just let that nice cool brew just gently kiss your lips, and then you just finish the pour in your mouth. It's an art.
All right. Okay, so as if this wasn't fun enough, we are going to do something for the NFL season that is admittedly a ripoff from another show, but they don't do it anymore, and I liked it so much. I thought it was a great idea that we're going to do it and have some fun with it. Still workshopping the name, but we're going to pick some helmets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
I got a bucket here of NFL helmets. We're going to each draw one at random, and if that team loses in whatever week we're doing it for, we will have to choose from a grid of hellacious punishments. They actually probably won't. Well, we'll see how they go. That's in development, but we're going to go ahead and draw now this loud, noisy bucket.
It's going to be loud.
It's going to be real loud.
It's going to be loud.
But you know what? We want to embrace the chaos here. So hopefully you will too. What are you saying? What do you want to get started?
Yeah.
You know what I would love? I would love some some music to go behind this. I know we're not at that stage yet, but
We're not.
I know.
I could put it up on my
that.
Spotify.
Don't do that.
Don't do
20,000 channels.
Don't do
Terrible
that.
audio.
Bad.
Copyrights.
And copyrights.
Yeah,
Copyrights,
we can't do that.
mm.
I'm not
I don't
going to
even- I don't even
DMCA strike.
I don't even feel comfortable humming anything. All right, so here it is. Oh yeah, that's some good shit. That's some good
That
stuff.
sounds like hell in a bucket right
Yeah.
there.
You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, so you get to throw. If you choose a helmet you don't like, you can throw back one time.
Per
right?
season?
No, per week. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But you still can't look, so you might get the same thing.
You might.
Okay.
You do have to put it back in. All right. This is great for our.
Wait, I have to put it back in so he could pick the same team as me?
No.
If you discard it, you have to.
Don't be alarmed. Don't be concerned. This is all figured out. Okay.
Trust the process.
Okay.
Trust the process. You have Eagles reference. Nice. Or I guess Philadelphia, right? Did the Eagles use that too? Or was it just the Sixers?
I think that's just a pretty common thing. People say.
The Sixers definitely coined that. I gotta ask some of my Philly friends.
Don't even talk to. Don't have friends from Philly. What?
They weren't. I mean, it wasn't by choice.
Fan.
I'm a fan of the Philadelphia baseball Phillies and only the Philadelphia baseball Phillies.
You know, it's funny because if you guys, let's say we're gonna take a time travel ahead. The next time the Phillies are in the World Series, you're gonna go to at least one of those games. I know you.
I absolutely will.
Absolutely.
And I will hate it.
And guess who you'll be sitting right next to? The Philly, the guy that lives in, I don't even can't even name a borough or
Conshohocken.
That sounds whatever. That with a shirt off, waving around, yelling at all the fans of the other team. You're gonna be sitting right next to him, wearing the same jersey that he is. Okay, and you have to live with that. So you're a fraud.
I'm not a fraud. Here's why. I will be miserable every second of that entire experience, except for when I'm sitting in my seat, staring at the field. I will hate the crowd around me. I will hate the obnoxious fans. I'll hate the traffic. I'll hate the smell of the city. I'll hate the dingy hotel that I'm sure I'll have to stay in because everything in Philadelphia is dingy. I'll hate the car ride there because the turnpike on that side of the state sucks. And I'll get there. I'll be real happy as long as the Phillies win the game. If they lose the game, I'll be pissed off the whole ride home. So yeah, I'm gonna go do it because it's the Phillies in the World Series. But that is how I'm not a fraud. Shall we get into this hell bucket now?
Yeah, choose your damn thing. Yeah. Andrew's going first. All right, don't look. Don't look!
Seahawks. Wait, didn't I bet against them?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
so the
crap.
Seahawks going to play Indianapolis on the
So
road.
you're going to win and lose either way if you stick with this choice.
You can throw it back if you want.
I'm going to pass it back.
Okay.
I would
Back
take
in.
it.
All right. Oh,
Washington. I think I did this.
You did. He took the Chargers.
That's awesome.
He got the Washington football team. For those who can't see,
hey, I
this.
like that pick.
Okay.
All right, Scott. I can go next if you want.
Yeah, you go next.
You just got to get a good feel for all of them. You know?
Can you feel like the logos on them?
Cardinals. Why are we getting all of the teams we picked?
I think it's karma. It's perfect. Also, there are 10 teams to choose from that we picked. You know.
That's true. They could definitely win. It's too close to call. I'm putting it back.
Now this is winning the game, right? Not the spread for these helmets.
This is winning
the game. Okay.
This is winning the game.
Cut my I'm sure people love this sound.
I sure people love trying to listen to you talk while the sound's happening. We talked about this pre-show, Scotty. What's the matter with you?
You sure? Sure.
The Patriots. Oh, that's actually not that great of a draw. They played the Dolphins.
Play the Dolphins.
But I'm stuck with
I think they're playing in New England. That's not
They
too
are.
bad.
I actually like that. I actually like that helmet quite a bit. I mean, it is. You
hate it, but you love it.
Scotty, it's a rookie quarterback.
Against another basically rookie quarterback.
But it's Belichick. I mean, it's the Patriots do have a good defense, but you don't know what's the
From what I
Dolphins are
hear, Mac Jones is going to be the guy to take him to the promised land.
Is that what you hear?
Scotty says this, except for he's rooting for Joe Burrow, who's also basically had the same amount of games as Tua.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Didn't they?
Nah, Tua played just like 2 or 3 games, I think.
No, he played.
I got this. Fitzpatrick was benched after week, I think, 10 or 11.
But then he came back.
No, he didn't come back. Did he come back? It doesn't matter. I got the Patriots. Choose your helmet. Okay, hold on a minute. You got shit flying everywhere. What the hell's the matter with you? Have you ever drawn hummus out of a bucket before?
I was making sure it's mixed up.
It's already mixed. You hear that? It's mixed.
Stop
This
shaking.
is taking far too long.
Just let me pick one.
There's only 3 of us.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
against the
Browns.
Cleveland Browns. I like that. I feel really, really good about my not having to do a punishment next week.
All right. Well, there you go. Should we choose one for Nick? It kind of seems unfair to have him not be here, but he's part of the show.
I think
well, are we gonna get his spreads?
Yeah.
Then he's got pick.
All right. I'll do the honors.
That's fair.
The Titans.
Oh, that's good.
The Titans are obviously playing Cardinals. What do you think? I mean, obviously by the spread, it's a very tight matchup. What do you think? Well, what would Nick do?
Nick would be indecisive, so he would probably put it back.
I think he'd put it back. It's really funny if he...
I mean, if you're not here, I mean, it's kind of hard for him to be here. He lives in Columbus, but he could be on the... Whatever, he's not here. Falcons.
Sorry, Nick.
Sorry. I didn't advocate for that. All right, so we got to write this down after this show. All right, so that's exciting. Transition. Did you want to talk about all the freaking ejections in college football this weekend?
I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. I think that college football is really ruining themselves.
Well, hold on, first, I don't want to be a broken record here because last time we talked about how the whole foundation of college football is being ruined.
That's about ESPN.
I don't want to be a whole downer. Remember the last episode you came out so hot against college football, and it was because of ESPN. But let's talk about it. But I don't want
it's hard. It's hard. Okay, I know you don't want to be a theme, but it's really hard to not be emotional about a sport that I love so much that's being corrupted so much. Being a college football fan to me is not just about liking the teams or liking a team or liking the matchups. It's about it's the only sport that I really feel like I'm connected to because I don't know, growing up being Ohio State fans and just the choice of choosing a college to go to, and the sense of unity and the sense of just togetherness that you feel around sports that you can get from college and collegiate athletics, it's a big deal. As Andrew pours the rest of his drink, so it's a sacred thing that brings people together, and it brings people together in a regional way that I just think that you don't get as much in national sports. National sports professional sports, I should say. You choose your team. Yeah, you probably choose a team that you grow up in, and maybe some people in Pittsburgh, for example, have that connection to the team the same way that the city does. But that's not a very common thing. Not as common as college. So for these institutions like the NCAA and ESPN to just slowly corrode this precious thing, yeah, it pisses me off a little bit, and I won't talk about it. I'm sorry. That being said, the targeting rule's got to go, at least in its current form, because we're having situations like the Louisville game, last weekend, where 4 players making pretty normal football plays got ejected for targeting because the opposing or the either the wide receiver or the running back ducks his head as the linebacker or defensive back goes in for a tackle, and they make a helmet contact. Sorry that a defender doesn't have a millisecond to react to a person with the ball trying to protect themselves and lowering their head. That should not be an objectable offense. Give them 5 yards or whatever so people play with heads up football or whatever. But to throw a kid out of the game, throw 4 people... I mean, you want these defenders to be able to play, in these games. They're the starters. It's just ridiculous that this is so common in week 1. It's already a thing. There was 6 or 7 objections. It's just silly. So I don't like it.
What are you sorry for?
Well, I'm a little ignorant to what happened in the Louisville game. I didn't watch it. Was it the running back lowered his helmet and then his helmet was hit, or how?
There was a few.
Explain it a little bit.
There was a few ones that were a little different.
Hold on a minute.
Because I think at that point the running back's got just as much. He's just as much at fault if he's lowering his.
Hold on a minute. Tell me, Scotty, how the rising number of ejections destroys the fabric of the meaning of the tradition and the passion and the regionality and all that stuff. You went real high. You went real big. I feel like you got
because when you like that Louisville situation, or pick an Ohio State game, because it seems like every single Ohio State game, an elite star gets guys like
star,
like Joey Bosa in his last bowl game against Notre Dame, I think it was, had a pretty normal sack of the quarterback, but the top of his helmet just slightly met the bottom of the quarterback's helmet, and his last game in college football was over. It was the first series. It was done. Okay, this Louisville team, these guys, these seniors that have been waiting for their opportunity all year long. Four players on defense got ejected, so you're already starting off with half of your freaking defense not being starters.
A little loud, buddy.
Well, I'm passionate
It's
about
okay.
it.
How would you change the rule then? What would you
Don't eject them. Make it a 15-yard penalty, but let the guy, unless you're literally ripping someone's head off. Unless you're literally ripping someone's head off.
Like you're blowing the roof off this mic right now. Scotty, if they don't enforce it to an extreme degree, then...
But it's not getting better. That's my point. It's not getting... You can't change the game of football. You have to tackle people. And sometimes when you tackle people, your head's going to knock the other guy's head. It happens. You shouldn't be ejected for that. It is a normal football thing. If someone's out there clocking people, defenseless receivers and stuff, sure, eject them. But the way that the rules being administered now is ridiculous.
I think there's a difference. There's a difference to be made where people think about ejections and all this stuff. Where like, oh, it's targeting. Oh, he meant to do that, or he tried to do that. It's not. None of this is intentional. Even holding penalties, people don't necessarily always try to hold, but it happens. So the only way to decrease it from happening is to put these strict penalties on it. I mean, I'm not saying I like it either. I'm just saying that it's not about the player like assuming that they meant to injure or hit the guy that way. You have to do a better job at attack.
Don't accept that.
Why are you sorry?
Because I reject that whole argument. Let's just throw.
I'm glad I got to finish my argument, and I'm glad I got to. At least I had a little bit of words here. I'm glad that I got to state my case, and now you can go and explain to me why my clearly discussed case and all that stuff is valid. Thank you. Go ahead, Scotty.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, your argument's so stupid. because if you want to just reduce the frequency which it occurs, then sure, let's just eject every lineman that holds then. They'll stop holding, but like you said, it's a part of the game.
No, there's a different severity. The player's safety is not at risk on a holding call than it is with a helmet-to-helmet contact.
The player's safety is at risk every time they walk out on the field and snap the football, okay? You can't tell me that we're going to talk about player safety.
You're talking about ejecting somebody for a holding call rather than a targeting call. And there is a big difference.
But I'm saying the current definition of targeting is not refined enough to mitigate just the accidental things that happen in normal plays.
You might be right.
Of course I'm right. What do you mean you might be right?
This is going to be a problem, isn't it?
It might be. It's fun. It's good radio.
Is it fun? Are you having fun?
I'm laughing.
Okay, I guess that's fine.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know what I was going to say, so congratulations.
You beat it out of
You
him,
win.
Scott. Oh, man.
Anything else, sir?
Yeah, I think that I'm
Awesome.
I don't know where to go from that. I'm thrown off. I'm shook.
You should be. He was kind of yelling at you for no reason.
I know. He's only looking at me. This happened last time too. I just felt the ire. Like I didn't do anything. I'm not a ref. I didn't even wear white and black today.
But people that even I don't even want to hear the opposing argument, because there is no opposing argument. There's no counter to what I have to say. What I have to say is objectively just the right thing. And I admit that I might come
Ladies
across...
and gentlemen, my entire childhood.
Awesome.
Because I'm an objective person, mostly. I am. And if there's a room for debate, I will debate it, and I'll have my... But this, you can't tell me that that's good for the sport, where when a guy is he's lowering, trying to tackle the guy at the chest, but the runner lowers his head, and you make helmet to helmet.
Okay.
You can't tell me that should be a targeting, and you should eject the guy.
What I can tell you is that at a certain level in collegiate sports, certainly in professional sports, I don't think they really have. They do have. I don't think they eject many people in the NFL, but it doesn't matter. At a certain level, you train a certain way. You learn techniques, things that are not natural to you. I mean, football is not a natural thing. Like you have to learn how to run and to pivot and move your body in certain ways. Why can't this be another one of those skills that you learn? Some people are better at it than others. That's why you don't see entire starting defenses off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like. So why can't we hold certain levels of players, certainly at the D1 level, the Ohio States, Clemson's, whatever, and at the pros, why can't we hold them to that level? It's a part of being good at the game. The rule is the rule, so work within the rules.
So that's a fair question. What I would say to that is, college football is the only one making that rule. So you've got people growing up playing a sport a certain way. You have then collegiate athletics where you have to now alter what you're doing, and you go back to the pros where you can tackle like a normal person again. Like it's not a natural thing.
You still can't hit people with the crown of your helmet and everything.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're not. I'm talking about.
I don't think you can do that stuff in high school.
I
like you still can't launch. You still can't lead with your.
And you shouldn't be able to do that but that's not what these plays are being called at.
The only difference is that there are more ejections in college. The rule's still the same. You still can't do that. I mean, especially after all the CTE stuff.
I promise you, if you had the same exact rule in the NFL, there'd be ejections every single week, and people they wouldn't do it because the NFL is smarter than that. There are obvious targeting penalties that should be called, where someone takes a guy's head off, where they launch, where you hit the quarterback, and then you shouldn't do that. You should change something.
You say they're smarter than that. I don't believe the NFL does that because they're smarter. I think it's because it's
better for the game to not have it.
No. I think that you run into a lot more issues if you're ejecting players that have contracts and incentives and things like that, and you're messing.
These are people
still
who
do.
No, it's a business. Like the reason I think it happens more in college is because you're still they're still clinging to some level of amateurism. These kids are not playing for money, so that we need to keep them safe. Once you go and get paid for it, you sign a contract. Then they are assuming the risk. Until they do that you are responsible for the players. That's why that's happening.
Yeah, I get that, but it's bad for the sport.
I think I got one. I think I got one.
Yeah. The objectively true thing.
All right, we should end on that. No,
you didn't get me.
That's awesome.
Over the coming weeks, we're going to be doing a lot of football stuff, and I really want to try to work in some other sports. I mean, we got baseball. The baseball season started not too long ago, and the playoffs will be coming up. NBA will be starting in October. I'm really excited about that.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Yes, that's right. Milwaukee. Yes.
Can I say something real quick?
You can say whatever you want.
It's really weird, and I had this epiphany a while ago that like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Ohio State Bucks. Saying "Go Bucks" is a common thing that I say sometimes. You know what I mean? Like that more so than I think most other fan bases.
Actually, it's interesting. Let's talk about this a little bit more because each one of those Bucks
are completely different.
Are pretty different. I mean, the Pirates and Buccaneers, they're similar, but I think they're not. They're not.
He's talking just about the teams.
My three teams that I say "Go Bucks." It's the Milwaukee Bucks, like the deer. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates, like the Bucks. And it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. But we say, let's go Bucks at every single one of those games.
I understand, but I would even say the Buccaneers would say go Bucks on occasion. They don't say go Neers.
Yeah.
No, they would.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So even those two, I mean, Buccaneer is different than a Pirate.
Oh, yeah.
It is. I mean, Buccaneer is a little bit more regal, a little bit more...
They'll
steal your money and then, shake your hand after, There you go.
Nice.
But, okay, go Bucks. NBA. That's all.
So that was cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Very cool.
We're talking about other things that we want to talk on this podcast, though.
Well, I want to try to make sure we don't it's all consumed with NFL stuff. But let's be honest, half of it will be.
It's America's sport.
But we are okay. So we're doing this first in person thing. I feel like the last couple 2-3 episodes I've always talked about what things to come, right?
Oh yeah.
But we do have things coming.
We do.
This was one of them. Doing stuff in person. I think it's actually gone okay. Even though this guy yelled at me for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
For no reason.
I've been keeping up with the time. It was only 10.
That's fine. But we're going to be doing some Twitch streams. I think that we, if anybody out there listening to this, if you've got questions for us, if you want us to talk about certain things, we are here for you. So let it fly. Other than that, anything else, boys?
Shout out to 81B now.
Dude, we didn't even do top 3 yet. But 81 Vino, you got it right this time. I'm proud.
Better top 3. I got to be honest. The top 3s. I mean, I enjoy it.
It could be dying out.
Wow, just like that. Shit,
Yeah.
we haven't even talked about this. You say it's dying?
Maybe
we've one episode without it.
Maybe we've run the course with the top 3. Now maybe we think of something else.
I got one right now. Oh, and it's a friggin' doozy.
Okay.
You need top
Who
3?
wants it?
I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Top 3 sports championship trophies.
Oh, the trophies. Okay.
That's a good one.
Can I do esports? Am I allowed?
I mean, no one. Will know
if
what
you
that
want
looks like.
no one to know what you're talking about.
Well, that's fair. They can Google it.
Fair enough. Go for it.
Okay, so number.
I don't mean to have so much disappointment in my voice. I don't know where that comes from.
It's fine.
I'm sorry. It's not what I was expecting.
Number 3 is going to be the Lombardi Trophy. Number 2 is the World Series Trophy. I love that one.
With the flags.
Number 1 is for the Dota 2 International. They do the Aegis of the Immortal.
Oh
And
my
it's-
gosh.
It is awesome. That trophy is so cool. It's like a big shield-looking thing. But yeah, I'm gonna say that that's the number 1 trophy in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, Google it. Scotty,
Yeah.
I want your top 3 Philly pitchers of all time.
Yeah, we were worried about this trophy being something that nobody knows what they're talking about.
It looks cool.
Nobody's gonna know it.
It doesn't matter. You said the coolest looking trophies.
Top 3 Phillies pitchers. All right, I have to go. Roy Halladay has to be number 1.
Oh my gosh, this trophy's sick. This is so cool. Okay, you gotta see this, Scott. Look at that.
Right?
That's
What?
so
Right?
cool.
Am
Is that
I
a
right?
shield?
It's you know what they hold up at the U.S. Open when they win a tennis tournament, the plate or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That thing's sick.
It's
Okay,
massive
okay.
too.
Okay, so you're telling me that is not as cool as the World Series trophy? The World Series trophy is one of the crappiest trophies in all of professional sports. That's way cooler than that.
I put that as number 1.
Oh, I thought that was number 3.
No, number 3 was the Lombardi Trophy.
Okay, I got you. Well, still.
You were worried about your top 3, weren't you?
No.
You were trying to think of one.
No.
I said Roy Halladay
I
number
think you
1.
might have been.
No. I said Roy Halladay. And
No. You're trying to think of your own to ask.
Oh,
someone
yeah. I
else.
have no idea. I have to come up with that real quick.
Okay.
All right. Top 3 Phillies pitchers would have to be... And I'm only just choose Phillies pitchers that I saw because I feel like the old ones, I didn't see them. So I'm going to go Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels.
All right.
Boom.
And Kevin, I'm going to go... let's hear your...
Andrew and I can talk while you think.
Oh, do that. Yeah, talk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
no one wants dead air.
So that Aegis of the
Yeah,
Immortal
certainly
trophy,
not us.
that trophy is really cool. It's massive too. But
Well, yeah, someone's holding it. It's like the size of their like
Oh,
a barrel-chested man. It would cover their whole chest.
So a little bit of random history about that is the item that drops when you slay the monster Roshan, and whoever carries it gets a second life. So they respawn after they die after like 5 seconds in the same spot.
Are extra lives valuable?
I mean, yeah, in team fights, like when you're going at it, imagine like if you're playing football and Baker Mayfield gets hurt, and then all of a sudden instead of him coming out of the game, he's able to just come right back in the next play. That's exactly what that does for you.
Yeah, no, definitely don't dumb it down for me. I get it.
That's
That
awesome.
sounds remarkable.
It's awesome, but it's also one of the coolest items in the game, and so they made that the crowning jewel of the winner of the international.
Enough of this. Scotty, it's enough time.
It would look good on my wall.
would.
Top 3 cities that you'd like to visit.
Why just your wall?
Because I have all types of swords and shields and cool looking stuff in my walls.
I have a mini version at home.
Oh, that's cool.
I do.
What was your question?
Top 3 cities that you'd like to visit.
Oh, that's a nice little tame, non-sports related question.
Yeah.
And one that's very hard considering how many cities there are in the world.
And how many cities you've already been to? Because it's going to be ones you want to visit.
Well, couldn't I want to
Nah.
visit?
New
Well,
ones. Ones you've never been to before.
Okay. Athens.
Mm.
Thank you.
Ohio or Greece?
Thank you for the clarification. I would also say, oh, geez, so many options. Tokyo. And Copenhagen.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, a little Danish.
I like
That's right.
that one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good.
Well, I think that's this episode. I think let's wrap this shit.
Sounds good.
You cool with it?
Nice talking to you, boys.
See you next week. All right. So if you've listened this far, you must, for some reason, like what you've heard. So given that, please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow us on Twitter @ObsessionCast for all future episode updates and whatever else we might post, sports related or otherwise. Thanks for watching.